following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Wednesday Hump Day edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, we'll be joined by WCYB's Heather Williams out of Bristol. Talk a little NASCAR for you on this Wednesday, as we do each and every Wednesday. Also, the NFL Draft starts tomorrow. Our resident NFL, air quote, expert, Andrew the Earl Moore, will be joining us as well in the second half, so stay tuned for that. Plenty to get to as well, including the Preds. They make the playoffs. That's the bright spot. There's a balance to that as well. We'll talk about it. Our daily Braves talk one day after witnessing the trophy. Yes, if you didn't see it on social media and Twitter, go check it out at ms_sports today. Wild and Wacky Wednesday as well, and we're certainly experiencing it. So, in the meantime, a little technical glitch on one end. I will get you right into our Wednesday rundown with what's happening all across Middle Tennessee in sports and beyond. Here we go.
This is the rundown.
All right, it is Wednesday, so we'll get right into it. As high school baseball scores from yesterday, it was Centennial 4-3 over John Overton, Dixon County 5-1 over Clarksville Northeast, Richland 7-6 over Collinwood, Riverdale defeated Columbia 1-0. It was Columbia Academy 16, Covenant Christian Academy from Alabama 2. Eagleville downed Moore County, shut them out actually, 10-0. East Robertson 14-3 over Trousdale County. Fairview 6-1 over Harpeth. Brentwood 7-6 over Franklin. It was Gallatin 11-1 over McGavitt. Glencliff 14-2 over Maplewood. Good Pasture with a pair of wins over Middle Tennessee Monarchs 13-0 and 12-2. Greenbrier downed Creekwood yesterday 10-0. It was Green Hill 8-2 over Cookville. Colioca 5-2 winners over Hampshire. Station Camp 5-3 over Hendersonville. Murfreesboro Central Magnet 15-5 over Hillwood. It was Beach 19-2 over Hunters Lane. Nolensville 10-3 over Independence. Giles County defeated Lewis County 9-8. Lipscomb Academy over Father Ryan 12-2. Lawrence County down Marshall County 7-1. CPA yesterday 3-2 winners over MBA. Mount Pleasant 4-1 winners over Cascade. Oakland shut out by Siegel 1-0. It was Page 3-2 over Lincoln County. Portland 7-2 over Montgomery Central. Rockville 8-0 over Blackman. Rossview defeated Clarksville 6-3. Smyrna over Watertown 4-1. West Creek 8-6 winners over Springfield. Stratford 13-3 over Pearl-Cohn. Loretto 4-3 winners over Summertown. Ravenwood 9-4 over Summit. Tullahoma defeated Spring Hill 4-2. It was Davidson Academy 6, University School of Nashville 4. Santa Fe 13-3 winners over Wayne County. Joe Burns falls to White House Heritage 7-3, and Mount Juliet over Wilson Central 11-1. Softball yesterday, Columbia Academy 13-1 winners over BGA. Huntland 5-2 over Eagleville. Gallatin 13-3 over East Robertson. Loretto defeated Giles County 5-3. Good Pasture 16-0 over Ezel Harding. Lincoln County over Lawrence County 6-3. Lipscomb Academy falls to CPA yesterday 5-1. Middle Tennessee Christian over FRA 14-2. Moore County 10-8 over Colioca. It was Mount Juliet 4-1 over Green Hill. Middle Tennessee Christian 4-3 over Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Oakland 12-2 over Blackman. Siegel 6-5 over Riverdale. Smyrna with a pair of 17-0 wins over Cane Ridge. That's right. Once wasn't good enough. They did it twice. Stewart's Creek 26-2 over Antioch. Summit 6-0 shutting out Columbia yesterday. Station Camp big over Watertown 14-2. Richland falls in a tight one to Wayne County, 2-1. Greenbrier 13-1 over White House. It was Wilson Central 2-0 over Rockville. Zion Christian 2, DCA 1 on the pitch yesterday. Columbia Academy 6, Hickman County 1. Murfreesboro Central Magnet 5-1 winners over Giles County. It was DCA 1-0 over Good Pasture Whites Creek, shut out by Harpeth 9-0. Independence 3-1 winners over Columbia. You can have a report on that at MainStreetMurray.com. Our Hall of Famer Mo Patton was in attendance. Laverne 6-1 winners over Lebanon. Loretto 6-0 over Wayne County. It was Martin Luther King 4, Hillwood 1. Mount Juliet 3-0 over Wilson Central. Nashville Christian 3, Friendship Christian 0. Blackman 1-0 winners over Riverdale. It was Stewart's Creek falling to Rockville 3-2. Oakland 3-0 over Siegel. Smyrna down to Cookville 3-2. Spring Hill shut out Coffee County 3-0. Hendersonville and Station Camp, well, 1-1 is where they stand now. That game ended abruptly. Urge you to go check out the Sumner County Sports Podcast for more information on that with Zach Womble. He was there as a full report, so you can check that out. Hopefully they'll be able to finish that game at some point in the future. Watertown 4-3 over Community. College baseball yesterday. Tennessee got a midweek win. Oh, let's get a nice round of applause for the Vols. They defeat Xavier 10-1. Oh, I can't see Chris Amo's face on that one. Lipscomb 10-2 over Tennessee Tech. Belmont 8-2 over Evansville. Austin P bested UNA. North Alabama 5-3. I think they want to be called North Alabama now. I know them as UNA. Columbia State 6-1 over Calhoun Community College. It was in softball yesterday. Tennessee defeated Liberty. No, they're playing now. Excuse me. That is today happening now. 6-1 in the top of the fifth at the latest check. Trevecca defeated Ashland today 10-0. That one already in the books. Last night, the Braves 3-1 winners over the Cubbies. And up in the Great White Norths, the Sounds fall to St. Paul. 5-1 is the final there. As we switch a little background music, NBA, the Grizzlies, what a finish last night. Hope you were able to watch some of that. They defeat the T-Wolves 111-109. Ja Morant with a, quote, jawbreaker, as Iron Eagle mentioned on the broadcast. Memphis leads that series 3-2. Calgary defeated the Preds last night 5-4, scoring a game-tying goal with 0.1 second to go, 1/10 of a second left, and they win in overtime with the Preds. However, the Preds do make the playoffs because Dallas defeated Vegas, so the Preds are in regardless. All right, on the slate today, high school baseball schedule features Clarksville Academy and Mount Juliet Christian 3:30, East Nashville at Antioch at 4, Hillsboro at Maplewood at 4. At 4:30 today, CPA will be taking on MBA. University School of Nashville is at Davidson Academy at 4:30. Also at 4:30 today, Lipscomb Academy at Father Ryan. It is Knights Academy at Good Pasture at 4:30. Maplewood welcomes Glencliff. Stratford at Pearl Cone. Pope John Paul II hosts Brentwood Academy. At 5 today, it is West Creek. They'll be at Todd County Central out of Kentucky. Smyrna hosts Lebanon. Hampshire travels to Colioca. Also at 5, Providence Christian welcomes Franklin Road Academy. At 5:30 this afternoon, East Robertson's at Trousdale County, Gallatin and McGavick. Columbia at Riverdale at 5:30. Oakland at Siegel at 6 today. Also at 6, Beach hosts Hunters Lane. Rockville's at Blackman. Brentwood welcomes Franklin. Fairview in Harpeth. Page and Lincoln County will face off. Ravenwood hosts Summit. Tullahoma is over at Spring Hill. Hume Fogg at White House Heritage. At 7 bells tonight, Green Hill at Cookville. Mount Juliet hosts Wilson Central. Station Camp will welcome Hendersonville. Eagleville, hopefully no soccer layover from that one. Eagleville at Moore County. Check your local front office for game time there. Softball today, Webb School at Middle Tennessee Christian. Should be underway just a few moments ago. Brentwood Academy at St. Cecilia Academy, 4:30 this afternoon. Also at 4:30, Franklin Road Academy is at the Webb School. Portland at Greenbrier at 5. Westmoreland hosting Good Pasture also at 5. 5:30 will be Clarksville Northeast at Springfield. McEwen at Harpeth. At 6 tonight will be Franklin County and Laverne. It will be also Cornersville at Santa Fe, Murfreesboro Central Magnet, at Blackman. That's a 6:30. Gallatin 11 at 6:30 as well. On the pitch today, one match. Actually, we got two. Page at CPA at 7. Sycamore and Cheatham County also scheduled to play. Check your local front office for game times there. College softball. We mentioned Tennessee Liberty. The Lady Vols are leading in that one, by the way. We'll hopefully get a final before we are done. Belmont is at Tennessee State. Doubleheader should be underway. That started at 2 on ESPN+. Also at 2, also a doubleheader, also on ESPN+. Murray State at Austin P. Trevecca at Ashland today. They started their doubleheader at noon. Braves are in action tonight again against the Cubs at home. It'll be Freed on the mound versus Leiter. And up in St. Paul, Minnesota, the Sounds will send Lindblom to the mound versus Smeltzer. And that is your Wednesday rundown. Oh, nope. Hold on. There we go. We finished that one off. All right. There we go. Hey, we'll take a timeout when we come back. I think we're going to have the boys ready to roll. Also, we'll be joined by Heather Williams, so stay tuned. This is Main Street Sports Today. It is presented by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this timeout.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Wow, that is bad video, and we're also muted, so.
There we go. Can you hear me, Heather?
I can.
All right. There we go. All right, Chrisimo, we got some gremlins at the studio back where they are. So we'll work this out here in for a little bit. So let's see if I can get everybody in there. Chris and Mo, you there?
We think so. Well,
Okay, there you go.
We are here. We just can't hear ourselves.
Yeah.
Can't hear yourselves?
we cannot.
Okay, all
It
right.
is what it is. I can talk. Can I hear? I think I can hear Heather.
Heather?
Heather,
Can you hear me, guys?
we can.
Let's just,
Yay!
We can hear you. We
All
can
right.
hear JP. We can't hear ourselves. And
But that's okay because
Yeah.
we're here.
so, Heather Williams of WCYB TV in Bristol joining us here on this segment of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint, to bring us up to date on what has happened and what will happen in NASCAR. Heather, thanks for joining us,
Always a pleasure, guys. You know I love coming on and talking to you.
even when stuff doesn't work.
Part of the thing, right? Technology.
It's beautiful when it works.
Heck of a thing. Hey, I want to let's just start with the elephant in the room, Denny Hamlin. Weird situation via Twitter where he tweets out a Family Guy video and is now apparently going to have to go through some sensitivity training due to the content of said video that aired on the same network that airs NASCAR. So it just seems like a little odd situation here. So tell us what we're dealing with exactly.
Well, exactly. I mean, NASCAR is pretty straightforward on their policies when it comes to racial and social and offensive statements or statements that they deem offensive. And, I think there is a difference between Denny Hamlin, a race car driver, and Seth MacFarlane, a comedian, what they can and can't get away with. And I think that if Denny had handled it a little bit better, both in what he tweeted out, he was obviously very frustrated with Kyle Larson with good reason. I mean, Kyle caused that wreck. There's no denying that. But in exactly how he expressed that frustration and then also how he dealt with it after people started to be offended, then it probably would have avoided all this. Like if he immediately, once people started getting mad, just said, deleted it, I'm sorry, that's fine. But he kind of tried to defend it at first and that kind of stuff. And you know what they always say, it's never the crime, it's the cover-up, right? So if he would have just dealt with it better initially, it probably wouldn't have been turned into an issue. But because it took him a while to kind of figure out why people were angry and upset, I think that's why NASCAR said we're going to have to step in here.
It's never the crime, it's the cover-up. Just ask Bruce Pearl,
That
right?
was
But,
where
Right?
I went
Right.
immediately.
It's just kind of ironic that Kyle Larson was the subject of this situation, who he himself has had to walk that same path over some less than ideal comments he made about a year or so ago. So what goes around comes around. I don't know.
Well, it's also really ironic too, because Denny's really, I mean, I don't really talk out of school that much, but there are definitely people in the garage area that you would say, yeah, they probably need some of this. But Denny would never be that guy. I mean, he's in business with MJ. He employs Bubba, right? I mean, you don't think he's that guy, but it just goes to show that, sensitivity covers all races and all people and all, walks of life, and you have to be in tune with all of that.
And the thing about it is, Heather, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is insensitivity isn't necessarily intentional.
Right, absolutely. I don't think Denny's was intentional at all. I mean, it was a Family Guy clip. He was mad at Kyle Larson. He wrote, in Denny's mind, it could have been more just it was somebody driving rather than the fact they were Asian or not, because it was a woman. Kyle's not a woman. So I don't really think that he saw in it what other people saw in it. And I think that having that understanding that just because you don't see it as offensive, other people might, is why this is an important teaching moment for him and other people.
And that's kind of where the insensitivity training comes in, to try to take you, kind of widen your perspective a little bit, I think.
Right. Because I really don't think that Denny's intentions were to be offensive. What I know of him, and I haven't talked to him as much as other people, but just on his background and everything that he's done with Michael Jordan and everything that he's done with Bubba Wallace, I really don't think that those were his intentions.
Now that we got that out the way, as Steve
let's
Harvey would
talk
say,
Yeah.
as Steve Harvey would say, we got that out the way. Now, let's talk about Talladega because it was a great race. I mean, exactly what you want at a finish. There were probably 8 or 10 cars with them being 3 and 4 wide that could have, made a run in that last lap. Just obviously someone got loose and Bubba ends up getting involved in it and ending his streak of top 2 finishes at super speedways. And but truly it was good racing for the most part.
Yeah, I think the Talladega could do without the first stage because nobody does anything but ride around the first stage anyway because, of the way the type of racing is. So it probably could be, one stage shorter and it would be the same race. But I thought the last 2 stages were really entertaining. I thought the end was entertaining. I hate to see cars wreck, but that's me personally, but that's a symptom of that kind of racing. But yeah, all the way back to Bubba, who was in 8th. On that final restart, you felt like all of those cars had a chance to win. Yeah. And the 45 and the 23 were about to get hooked up and come to the front. That's why they ended up wrecking each other when Kyle Larson made that mistake trying to block the 45. So, but it just made it really fun because you're like, you coming down that last backstretch and into the turns, you had no idea who was going to win that race. Ross Chastain was running 3rd when that happened. So that's one of the things that makes Talladega so great is because anyone really in the top 10 can win going into the final lap.
So Ross Chastain wins it. His 2nd win of the year, his 2nd win of his career, right?
Correct.
Trackhouse
in the Cup Series.
Feeling good.
In the Cup Series,
but I found it ironic that Ross Chastain, who was 3rd, won the race, but nobody booed him. Like last week when Kyle Busch was running 3rd and won the race.
That's because people like Ross better than
exactly. I told y'all last week. That's the problem.
Or people don't dislike Ross.
There you go.
I think people really like Ross because he's a kid. He came from he's a 7th generation watermelon farmer. That's why he smashes the watermelons as his celebration. It's a true story. And he's just that whole watermelon personality and that whole watermelon man, people find that to be very lovable about Ross.
That's very endearing right there. The watermelon
7th
man.
generation watermelon farmer.
Please tell me he plays watermelon crawl in Victory Lane. we got to make this a thing.
If you drink, don't drive.
I haven't been to one of his Victory Lanes because he hasn't run a race that I've been at. But I do love the watermelon smash, which he started when he started winning in the Truck Series a few years back.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh,
Heather Williams with WCYB TV in Bristol with us here on Main Street Sports today. So, where do we go this week on the Roundy Rounds, Heather?
We go to Dover, which is the Monster Mile. Concrete track, very unique track, kind of like a combination of a big Bristol and a 1.5 mile type track in the way that it races. It's a doozy for drivers. It's a very difficult, challenging track. But most of them love going there. They only go there once a year now. But that's the track this week. And it's my favorite trophy of all the trophies in NASCAR because their mascot is Miles the Monster, and it's a big concrete monster. And they take the monster and they put a replica of the winning car in the monster's hand, and that's the trophy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's my favorite trophy.
Okay, that's pretty cool. When you think of traditional NASCAR, you don't necessarily think of Dover, Delaware, but it has certainly become a key spot, a key stop in the Cup Series.
Yeah, and a sister track to Nashville. At one time, they were both owned by the same person, owned Dover and Nashville. Well, they still are, but they're now in the Speedway Motorsports family. So there'll probably be some changes coming to both those tracks as a result. But yeah, it is a key track just because it's so challenging and the drivers, and it's so different than anywhere else we race. There's not really a comparable track, apples to apples, on the track to Dover. So drivers really enjoy the challenge of it.
A lot of folks are talking about, Daniel Suarez being a kind of a sleeper in this one, and obviously it would be a little cool to see a guy running a NASCAR themed car, or I'm sorry, Nashville themed car to win at the track that's, that also owns Nashville. But Suarez has been, he's been one of those drivers all year long that is competitive but hasn't found his way to the top yet. But you got to be, if you are taking a long shot, Daniel Suarez would not be a bad pick this week.
Absolutely not. I mean, he's Trackhouse Racing, right? He's teammates with Ross Chastain. Right. And I've had several people tell me that Trackhouse is the best team, the best organization in the garage this year. Right, and so, I mean, when you consider Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing, but people, I mean, Kyle Larson told me that he thought that Trackhouse was the best team right now. So,
you know why? Because we had Ty on the show.
That's right.
That's the only reason.
I mean, that's the only logical reason for sure.
There you go.
But this organization, Trackhouse, has really become what everybody thought 2311 was going to become last year. Successful right off the bat, winning, competing every week. And for whatever reason, there's still a little something missing, I think, on the operations side, and maybe it is Ty Norris. I mean, Ty's a guy that's been around forever, and they don't have really that kind of an equivalent at 2311. So, I mean, in all seriousness, that might be the difference between the two organizations. But they've been able to find success really pretty quickly. Surprised a lot of people, but not if you really know the sport. I mean, they've got everything from a well-known owner in Pitbull who can be kind of the face, to a former driver in Justin Marks, to a guy like Ty Norris who's been around the sport forever, and two really good drivers. So, I mean, Daniel Suarez, he's going to win sooner rather than later.
Meanwhile, Heather, if you know anyone with 2311 that would like to raise their stature by coming on the show, just point them
I mean,
way.
I'm trying to get them on my show, but if I get them on my show, I'll definitely send them on to your show too.
Right? Hashtag priorities, right?
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Heather Williams, WCYB TV, talking to us each and every Wednesday here about NASCAR. Heather, thank you for taking some time with us, and we appreciate it as always. Always a good time. Looking forward to this weekend. Tell us who your winner is.
This week, I'm probably going to go with Alex Bowman for the repeat. I think that we're going to have more repeat winners. We're starting to see those now. And I just got off a call with Alex, and he considers Dover to be his favorite track, that in Martinsville. And he's been really good there. He won there last year. So I'm going to go with Alex Bowman this week.
I mean, that's
get that in there.
That's a really good pick. So there you go. Heather, we appreciate it. Absolutely.
Anytime, guys.
All right. We are going to take a break and try to fix this camera because we're crooked. We're going to try to figure it out here in just a second. So come back with us on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990
or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. We are a little bit less crooked, not 100%, but we're in the frame, so that's ideal.
Still can't hear ourselves.
Still can't hear ourselves. That's okay. As long as JP can hear us, we're good.
Work in progress.
Yeah, this has not been a problem in the past, so I don't know what's going on there. The internet has not been great here in Columbia, I can tell you that. So
Not cool.
No, it's been unColumbia today on the internet side. That's why we are thankful for backup internet options.
It's always good to have options.
Always good to have options. All right, so we didn't get to our top stories today because JP got to the rundown and it took the entire first segment and we weren't available at the time. So let's go ahead and pull out our top story, which doesn't have a specific sport because we've got a boys basketball, girls basketball, and football coaches who have resigned right here in the southern. Well,
who have
okay.
Departed.
Two of them resigned. One of them, not so much. Well, it's kind of like the Franklin County situation. What did the coach say? Yeah, when they said he resigned, and he was like, "Well, yeah, but it wasn't my decision to resign."
There you go.
So that's not really a resignation, sir.
And there you go. So I guess we'll get into that one first. Why not? Billy Holt, longtime boys basketball coach at Giles County, is no longer that.
There's that.
Yeah.
Ow.
After 30-plus years at the Pulaski School, 6 state tournament appearances, I believe, according to the Pulaski Citizen. State championship in 2003, a runner-up finish in 94. Billy Holt is no longer the boys basketball coach at Giles County High School. And I phrase it like that because
he is the one of the three.
Well, he's one of the three, but no one, unlike the other two, no one is talking about it. The Giles County High School administration has not addressed it. Coach Holt has not addressed it. The Giles County Central Office has not addressed it.
But the job is posted.
But the job is posted, yeah. So if you are interested in coaching boys basketball at Giles County, they will take your application. So.
Whether or not there's a coach involved already.
Yeah, so anyway, there's that. One basketball coach who did resign is Brian Porter as girls coach down at Lawrence County after 10 seasons. So that is actually a resignation, and they put out a press release a couple of days ago with comments from Coach Porter, from the principal, Willie Joyner, from the AD, Matthew Calvert. So they are actually addressing their upcoming coaching change.
Well, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, it is good.
And finally, we just found out just before the show, hat tip to Donovan Stewart at MainStreetPreps.com. Big news.
I think so.
This is a huge development, in my opinion. Cornersville football coach Gerard Randolph has step down as the Bulldogs head man and will take an assistant coach job at Marshall County. Is that correct?
That is correct. Apparently, he has a son that plays at Marshall County, and I guess he has been all along. He's a junior there now, Jaden. So he'll be a senior next fall. So I don't know the details. I don't know if he started at Cornersville and then went to Marshall County. I don't know if he's been at Marshall County all along. That's an intriguing situation, but at any rate, he is currently a junior at Marshall County. So Coach Randolph will get to coach his son his senior year.
Perhaps we will reach out to Coach Randolph and get the story tomorrow.
That would be great.
That would be cool.
So he's going to go over and coach defensive backs with Coach Osteen and the Tigers, and leaves behind a program that he led to a 59-27 record in 7 seasons, including back-to-back state runner-up finishes in Class 1A in 2017 and 2018. Lost to Greenback in 2017 and lost 7-6 to Whitwell in 18, 27-3 in those 2 seasons. Couple of seasons, the likes of which Cornersville had never seen on the gridiron. So, I mean, statue soon to come at Cornersville for Gerard Randolph, I would think.
You know, it's very possible. I mean, they are that program is still doing well, and if you would like to read about some fantastic puns of a founding father, Ben Franklin, you can do that on Main Street Preps too. I hate he's believing behind Ben, man. Dadgum.
Cornersville went 9-3 this past year, losing to McKenzie in the second round of the Class 1A playoffs. McKenzie went to the state finals?
Went to the state finals and lost to South Pittsburgh.
There we go. Okay. Quote from Principal Brett Adcox in Donovan's story that I'm cribbing from. Coach Randolph changed our program into a top-tier 1A football program, and I will forever be grateful for the hard work and dedication that he has given to Cornersville High School, our football program, and me. We are super proud of the opportunity that he has in front of him, and he has given up a lot of his own personal time for this school. It is a bittersweet time for us here at Cornersville. We will miss him, but we sure are proud of him, and he will forever be a part of this program and its future success.
There you go.
Classy comment from a classy guy about a classy guy.
Absolutely.
And wish Coach Randolph all the best in his new status, and we'll see what happens from there. Because again, his son is a senior this fall.
Right.
So
who knows after this fall what comes.
Right.
And in Lawrence County, also looking for a girls basketball coach and a boys basketball coach job open at Giles County. So a couple of really good programs.
Again, boys basketball coaching job open at Columbia Academy as well.
There is that.
So
That happened earlier this week as well. Before we get to the next break, want to mention, I know in the rundown, JP had said something about, had mentioned the Tennessee Liberty game. They are 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Tennessee leads 7-1. He also mentioned that the Nashville Sounds had started at 107 today. They are currently through 6 innings with a 1-1 tie up in St. Paul. A dropped fly ball brings an errorless streak of 101 innings without an error for Nashville. Okay. That's a solid streak there. 101 innings of no errors.
I'm gonna pull a Chip Carey and mention that apparently the Sounds and the Saints are zipping along, because he made a time reference yet last night during the Braves Cubs game, which did finish up in 231.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you'll take 231.
Oh, every day.
So,
but you're that will also get you thrown out of a press box too.
Oh yeah. Oh, no question. It's
because typically just as soon as you say, "Wow, this game is moving right along,"
it slows way down.
It goes sideways on you real quick. Seen it too many times.
Yeah, no question. All right, let's take a quick break and take a halftime just kind of
reset,
see if we can't get this second half doing a little bit better. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll come back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today. It is halftime here, and just because we're not going to get a chance to do Wild and Wacky Wednesday today, we have too much to get to, Mo. We've got Preds, Grizzlies, Braves, NFL, literally everything that could possibly be talked about today needs to be talked about. So, guess we'll just give you my favorite Wild and Wacky story of the week. How does that sound? You know, sometimes people get married because tax benefits. Sometimes people get married because they need a place to stay. Sometimes people get married for love, even, like on occasion. It does happen. I've seen it. But Deborah Hodge, a 49-year-old woman, claims she had previously been forced to rehome 3 animals by landlords who did not allow pets on their property. So you know what she did?
She married the landlord?
She married her cat. That's right. Her 5-year-old cat on April 19th tied the knot. The single mother of 2 hopes her commitment will show future landlords just how important it is for her that they stay together. She said, "I had nothing to lose and everything to gain, so I married my cat. I recited vows under the universe that no man will ever tear myself and India apart." India being the cat, obviously. "I set out my intention that I would never be separated from the animal I adore. I can't be without India. She is truly a sensation. She's so friendly and amazing. She is fundamentally the most important thing in my life after my children." So
I'm going to stop you for just a second.
Oh, that's as far as I'm going.
Okay, good. Well, it's just as well because at Palsy Punch Pop says, can't hear either one of you two.
Well, that's a problem.
In the last minute, he said that. So,
well, we'll figure it out. That's going to do it for halftime.
Since nobody can hear us anyway.
So stick around. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
It is the second half of Main Street Sports today, as we are going to be full on in the second half. A lot to get to. The Braves and our daily report. Also, Titans and the NFL draft tomorrow. It starts. And reaction to last night's Tennessee Pro Sports roller coaster. It was a doozy between the Preds and the Grizzlies. We'll react to all of that coming up. Now back to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama. Chris Yao, gentlemen.
Pablo Reyes wins a 9-pitch battle and draws a bases-loaded walk for the Sounds to give the Nashville a 2-1 lead in the 7th. Bases still loaded for Bryce Terang. So how about that for a little Sounds update?
Look at there.
Speaking of sounds, you sound better, so maybe you fixed it.
Maybe we did.
All right.
We'll find out.
We'll see.
Well, I guess that Palsy Punch Pop could let us know. That'd be great.
Hopefully, I've got a tweet in to him.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we appreciate it, right? All right, so let's talk about the Atlanta Braves for a moment, as we got a chance to see the World Series trophy yesterday. If you missed that picture, it is on our Twitter at @MS_sports today that you see there on the screen. We also made it on Bally, the three of us.
Did we actually make it on? I saw them filming us.
It was well, they didn't quite get us up close, but
okay.
We were standing in line, and you can in fact see us if you're looking, because
you
know where we are. Yeah.
Do you have it?
I do in fact have it. It's right here with Well, I see JP there. So, but yeah, it's there's Mo. Look at there. Look at there.
You'll have to send that to me.
I will. I'll take a screenshot of it and send it to us. The Atlanta Braves got back on track last night with a 3-1 win over the Cubbies, which I know had to sting. I wonder how Chip Carey feels when the Braves play the Cubs, because he's got a lot of Cubs in him.
Oh, sure.
He bleeds royal blue.
I think Chip possibly roots for his team less than any other play-by-play guy in baseball.
There's that.
But he's got family ties. I mean,
Right.
I get it. I get it. But big night for Travis Demerit.
Yeah.
You know, we talked yesterday about Hollywood duos and Will Smith and Bad Boys. I ain't going back. Well, you know, Travis might be saying that about Gwinnett right now.
I ain't going back to Gwinnett.
No, I ain't going back.
Don't
to
send
AAA.
me.
No, with slide and catch in foul territory. You know, for an outfield that has struggled defensively, and then that Oppo laser that he hit. He's trying to stay up here.
We're back, baby, says Palsy Punch Pop.
Hey,
we back. We in this thing.
It's good to be back.
It is. Yeah, big night for Travis Demerit and for Max Fried.
Max continuing to work on that ERA despite that solo home run he gave up early to Ian Happ. That was it.
That was it, and that was a great win for the Braves, and they go for their first series win tonight with Charlie Morton on the bump. Unfortunately, I forgot to make that change in the rundown. Sorry, JP. I made you sound like you didn't know what you were talking about. I apologize.
Wouldn't be the first time, Chris.
You know, it's
and
not.
It certainly will not be the last.
It certainly will not be the last. But Charlie Morton will go to the bump tonight for the Braves against Mark Leiter Jr.
I saw Leiter Jr.
I thought,
and I thought, wait a minute. Al Leiter's kid is in Texas, and he's not up yet. He's not a junior, but Mark Leiter Jr. Good Lord.
I know that's what I was.
We're getting old.
When I first saw it, I was like, Leiter, huh? Yeah. Very confused.
Yeah.
But no, not the former Vandy standout.
No. Travis Demerit getting the start and right again, batting eighth. It's Albies Olsen Riley, Ozuna, Darno, Dickerson, Duvall, Demerit, and Swanson, with again Morton on the bump tonight for the 6:20 start on Valley Sports.
It's going to be a big win for the Braves last night. It's going to be a big series. Again, like I've said all week long, this is the get right series that you need. You've got the Cubs coming in before, obviously, the trip out to Texas and New York. So what's the key for Atlanta tonight against a guy who's struggling, which typically when the Braves face pitchers who are struggling, they find their groove.
Yeah, and with that being said, I think the key is they've got to do something early offensively. You know, get this crowd riled up, or keep this crowd riled up early, and give Charlie something to work with. And and then just take care of business.
Yeah, as I look through this lineup, it's really a solid lineup. Matt Olson, who is leading the league or leading the team in batting average, is probably pretty close to the league leader at 333. Only 6 RBIs and 2 home runs for him. So when he starts getting his power back, it's going to be even scarier.
Well, the RBIs
hitting second, obviously.
Yeah, well, that and the bottom half not getting on. I mean, you've got to have runners on base and in scoring position to get RBIs, but the home runs, you feel like those are going to come too.
Yep.
But again, we've seen a lot of balls hit this year that looked like off the bat they should have been out, that were instead outs.
Yep.
And we saw a clip last night from a New York Mets pitcher who said that there's something going on with the balls.
They keep messing with the baseballs.
Yeah.
And it's not, we talk about juiced balls and that sort of thing. But it certainly looks Oh, there's our picture. Look at there. You know, they keep messing with the balls. They juiced them for a little while, and home runs were just flying out of the park. And
then they dialed them down.
Then they dialed it down in the playoffs. And then stop messing with baseballs. Just stop. Go to your local Jones and Lang, get a dozen Bodens,
whoever your Jones and Lang is,
and pick up a dozen baseballs and let's go. I'm tired of this.
Well, the thing about it is, when you continue doing that kind of thing, you're messing with the balls. You're messing with the game. You're messing with the credibility of the game, and the players know.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there was a thing a few years ago where players were saying that teams were messing with the balls to either pull down offensive numbers so that if you've got a big offensive class going into free agency or arbitration or whatever, you can point and say, well, you didn't do X, or you can you pump the ball up to work it against pitchers in the offseason or whatever else. And whether that's real or not, that's the perception that is being created by messing with the balls. Just stop.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what they're thinking, but nonetheless, as long as, I guess if it's the same for everybody, it's okay. But here's the problem. It's not always the same for everybody. I mean, every clubhouse has somebody in there rubbing the balls down differently. You know, it's just, that's a big part of the pregame, the mud that's used or whatever. That's that one guy who had the mud farm or whatever has been using the same mud to rub down baseballs forever. But it's just, let's just play baseball. Stop trying to mess with it. Let the guys hit what they hit. Let the guys pitch what they pitch, and
see what happens.
Yeah. It's frustrating. It really is. Again, Atlanta tonight, 6:20 on Bally. Mo, tell us what happened this day in Braves history.
April 27th, 1944. Boston Braves starter Jim Tobin.
What?
April 27th, 1944.
Jim who?
Tobin, not Toman.
Oh, drinking. I was like, wait a minute, that's a little old, ain't he?
It's a lot old.
Okay.
Boston Braves starter Jim Tobin threw a no-hitter, striking out 6 with 2 walks, and hit a solo home run in the 8th inning to ice a 2-0 victory over the Brooklyn Dodgers.
See? Pitchers can rake.
Hashtag pitchers who rake. Jim Tobin. There you go. Jim Tobin couldn't tell you what a hashtag was.
No, he would be like, what do you mean?
What a Twitter was.
No, he could not. All right, that's going to do it for this Braves segment. Andrew Moore supposed to join us in the next segment. He said he was going to drop by, but I haven't seen him, so we'll see what happens if he's dropping by or not.
On a day like this, who knows?
Who knows? So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones and Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, it's time to talk with the Earl. Andrew the Earl Moore joins us now to talk a little Tennessee Titans. Andrew, are you at Asgard?
I am at Asgard right now. Yeah,
we can hear it. It's pretty awesome. A lot of cool stuff going on down there at the Asgard Brewery in Columbia.
Always. And sorry about not coming in today. Today got a lot busier than I wanted it to be.
Hate when that happens.
Always.
Yeah. So draft day tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, but the first round tomorrow. Obviously, the Titans currently with the 26th pick. First, do you think they execute that pick, or do you think by the time they get to it, number 26 belongs to somebody else?
That's a good question. This year's been kind of weird for me because there's years past I've been able to at least pinpoint something that they were going to do. This year I have absolutely no idea. When I sat down and thought about it, if we could drop back and get an extra pick in the top 100, we're already sitting at 26. I'd say go ahead and do it as long as it's worth it. I don't know. This year I have no idea what's going to happen.
Okay, well, so my next question, this one's probably more obvious. If they pick at 26, who is it?
Okay, so there's two guys that I've been trying to keep my eye on as much as I can. One is a little bit more obvious. One might be a little shocking, maybe. I'll start with the obvious one. If he's still there, I would love Traylon Burks from Arkansas, who is just, he's a phenomenal player. Our resident Arkansas fan here at the brewery could go on for the entire show and tell you how great this player is. He's absolutely in love with him. I know he's big, he's strong, he has good hands, he catches everything. The other one is, like I said, the more shocking one, but his name got brought up a couple weeks ago and hasn't really disappeared, and that's Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. You bring him in. Ryan Tannehill, I think, only has one more year on his contract after this year. It gets a lot easier to move on from Tannehill after this season, and there's no pressure on him to have to come in and start right away. He can sit back for a year. He can learn from Ryan Tannehill. He can learn from Pat O'Hara, the QB coach, and Todd Downing, maybe the offensive coordinator. So those are two of the guys that I really have my eyes on if we stay at the current spot that we're at.
Okay, so I'm going to preempt Chris because I know he's got a reaction to what you just said. But I feel like right now, if they draft 26,
that guy's cool. He's the coolest guy I've heard today.
If they draft at 26, they're going to need somebody who can contribute right off the bat, and I don't think that's quarterback. But I think Chris has got more on that. So
why would you draft Desmond Ridder in the first round when you can get Bailey Zapp in the third round, who's going to be a better pro? That's my only concern. It's ridiculous. Why would you draft a quarterback in the first round? It makes no sense. Especially when there's a guy like Bailey Zapp who's going to be available in the third round and you can go get him. But
Hey, that's a fair point. I have no comeback to that.
I'm not asking you. I'm just saying for anybody who thinks that Desmond Ridder is a first round quarterback, they need to step off.
Well, there's the thing. I'm not sure how many of the top quarterbacks in this draft are first round quarterbacks. And that's part of the issue. But to me, I like Treylon Burks.
I like Zion Johnson.
I'm not sure Treylon Burks is going to be there at 26. Mike Detillier a couple of weeks ago mentioned George Pickens from Georgia. Now, I'm not sure if that's a reach at 26, which might be part of the reason the Titans potentially trade back. But I could also see them going offensive line at 26. And
Zion Johnson
or the kid from Texas A&M.
Kenyon Green.
Yes.
Either one of those would be great picks.
I've also seen an offensive lineman from Tulsa projected there. I don't necessarily like Tulsa.
Yeah, I don't love Tyler Smith. He's a tackle too. And I'm not sure we need a tackle right now.
Yeah, I think you need somebody a little bit more interior with the ability to maybe play tackle. But I don't know that you need a tackle.
Yeah, Kenyon Green at 6'4", 323 out of Texas A&M, grades 89. Zion 6'3", 312, grades an 88. They're interchangeable.
Now, Zion Johnson, I do believe, roomed with Vrabel's son.
That's correct.
At BC.
That's correct.
So
has a little inside connection.
Right.
So.
Now, I could see them taking an offensive lineman. I don't really see anything other than offense being drafted in the first round.
Agree.
Tomorrow. I could see them drafting an offensive lineman. It would be a little deflating, which is weird for me to say because I love the whole offensive line as a group. It's just one of my favorite positions in the entire game of football. But to take one early in the draft 3 straight years in a row would be a little deflating. But we do with moving on from Roger Saffold. I don't know how well Aaron Brewer stacks up as a full-time starter, taking over for Saffold. I like to have him on the team. He can play multiple positions. He's somewhat reliable, but he's also a little smaller, especially compared to someone like Roger Saffold, who's just a monster of a human being.
I just feel like the need for the Titans is more at offensive line. And like you said, it's not real sexy going O-line in the first round 3 straight years.
But you know what is sexy?
Winning?
Rushing for 2,000 yards.
Well, it's not a sexy pick, but if you find someone like a Taylor Lewan or a Michael Ruse or a David Stewart or a Brad Hopkins, I'll get over it pretty quickly.
Yeah, a guy who can actually come in and participate, unlike the last first round tackle they drafted. It would be great to see that, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Andrew. I don't think they pick in the first round. I think they find a way to trade 26, and I think they get a second round pick. They go with George Pickens or somebody like that, and perhaps get an offensive guard from someone for that first round pick who's already in the league.
And especially when you consider that after the 26th pick, they are not scheduled to pick again until 90. They don't have a pick in the second round.
Right.
And as Chris has said on more than one occasion, the hit rate with first rounders for Tennessee has not been great anyway. So if you can trade out of there and close that gap between 26 and 90 and maybe get 2 picks in there some kind of way, which the second round is pretty much where J-Rob has made his money anyway.
That's right.
That might be the way to go.
I'm sorry about all outside. It's a beautiful day. I didn't think about it being motorcycle season out here. There we go. So yeah, you're sitting at 26. You're pretty much already in the second round at that point, anyways. I'd say if they traded that, got an extra pick somewhere in the second round, and I think we got a compensatory 4th round pick this year, I believe as well. So if you can stockpile some picks, being so far on the back end of the first round, I'd be absolutely okay with that.
Cam Robinson and Jacksonville have agreed to a 3-year, $54 million extension. So
I know they franchise tagged him 2 years in a row, I believe. So I was wondering what was going to happen with him down there.
Speaking of Jacksonville,
oh man,
holders of the number 1 pick.
What do they do?
Shocker.
You know, yeah, funny how that works. You just took a quarterback, and again, I'm regurgitating to some degree what we heard from Detillier a couple of weeks ago, because I think he is the authority in terms of draft analysis. But they took a rookie quarterback with the first pick last year. You've got Evan Neal sitting there. Why is the conversation between a couple of defensive ends as the 1-1 for Jacksonville? Makes no sense to me.
Well,
other than it being Jacksonville.
I don't really know. Nothing in Jacksonville really makes sense. You're bad for that long. Nothing makes sense. I know Doug Peterson is a offensive guy. I've heard some talk that he's really excited about a particular offensive lineman. I can't remember which one in particular off the top of my head, but with them just signing Cam Robinson, I don't really know what Jacksonville does.
Yeah, I mean, you just signed Cam Robinson, so you've got your left tackle, right? I mean, you've got the guy that is going to be your protector. But according to, and take this as you will, according to Mel Kiper, the best fit is a cornerback, Ahmad Gardner, because according to him, they don't need a lineman at all except a center. They need defensive ends, wide receiver, center, cornerback, and inside linebacker.
That would make sense to me. Jacksonville go in defense. They spent a lot on the offseason this year on offense. The draft last year on offense. If they could get back to that dominating defense that they had for a couple of seasons, I think, not that I want it to happen, but I think that could help Trevor Lawrence out a lot. A very talented player that, if he wasn't playing for Jacksonville, I'd be the hugest fan of. So I could, even though Doug Peterson is an offensive-minded guy, I could see them going maybe edge rusher, linebacker in the first round tomorrow night.
It seems like Aiden Hutchinson of Michigan and Trayvon Walker from Georgia, a couple of defensive ends, are 1 and 1A for Jacksonville at this point. And I guess, again, by signing Cam Robinson, maybe that takes Evan Neal out of the mix, but it just seemed like he was the clear cut, particularly for Jacksonville, number 1. But hey, to steal a line from Chris, who am I and what do I know?
Well, Evan Neal, not even the best available tackle according to Kiper. Akeem Ekwonu from NC State ranks ahead of him by one spot, but they're pretty well interchangeable, I guess. But you've got a guy like Cam Robinson who played for Nick Saban, and a guy like Evan Neal who played for Nick Saban, maybe. And then, of course, Trevor Lawrence, who played for Dabo, which is, who knows what that's like. But if you can bring some of the process to Jacksonville, it's probably not a bad thing after what they've gone through the last couple of years. I mean, am I right or wrong?
No, absolutely. At least they're not Houston, who needs help pretty much in every position on their team. So they're a little bit ahead of. Oh,
just kidding. I love Lovie Smith. I'm afraid of Lovie Smith. I'm sorry.
I would be more afraid of Lovie if he had more to work with.
Yeah, well, but
I'm not necessarily afraid of
David
Lovie.
Culley beat us. Lovie Smith is a guy I'm afraid of.
I had almost forgotten about that.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring that back up.
Oh, that was an awful game.
Yeah, it's like it was almost healed, and then you pulled the scab off.
I had just dried off, and now, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting draft, no question. It's and obviously coverage begins on ESPN at 7:00 tomorrow, live from Vegas.
First round tomorrow, second and third on Friday, 4 through 7 finishes up on Saturday.
Those 4 through 7s, that's where Robinson finds his gems, it seems. So that's a boring day. That was a boring day that all of a sudden became an exciting day for me to watch.
It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, man. Andrew, I appreciate it as always. Go enjoy some great craft beverages at Asgard, and maybe we'll see you after the show.
Y'all know where I am, where I usually always am, I should say.
I hear you. We appreciate it, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah, good to talk to you guys.
It's Andrew the Earl Moore, also known as Intern 1.
Well, he's known as the intern.
Yeah, Intern 2 apparently worked from home today.
Say what?
He worked from home today. Well, so his mother, of course, Teresa Walker, who is a friend of the show, posted that she brought back some donuts from Memphis and from Gibson's. And so Trevecca Athletics says, now we know why Lawson worked from home today. So
because he knew the donut delivery was coming,
baby. And he wasn't wrong. Got some blueberry
Uber
cakes. Yeah, Uber Eats from mom all the way from Memphis. Oh goodness.
Uber Eats that you can eat. Have you seen those commercials?
Oh yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Preds and the Grizzlies. Speaking of Memphis, on the other side,
let's talk about the Grizzlies.
Yeah, well, we'll get into the unfortunate situation the Preds find themselves in as well. But yes, Ja Morant with the dunk of the century,
the jawbreaker.
The jawbreaker, I like it, and the layup of the century for Memphis anyway. So y'all stick with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TWSAA.
Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Wednesday edition. It is a wild and wacky Wednesday, but there is no wild and wacky stories other than a wild and wacky finish. Well, not finish up in.
Well, it was finished.
Well, it was stopped. They may or may not finish the game. We don't know. A wild and wacky stoppage.
That was the end.
That was the end yesterday. Ain't no doubt there. Station Camp and Hendersonville Soccer tied at 1 with about 15 minutes to go in the game. And the head official asked game administrators to remove all fans from the premises before they would finish the contest. Well, apparently, and this is coming from some reports on Twitter, but mainly from Zach Womble, who covers Sumner County sports for MainStreetPreps.com. And, of course, the Sumner County Sports podcast that came out just before our show today. Apparently, 5 minutes was the time limit in this official's head. Was it 7?
7 and change.
7 minutes. Okay, well, even still, 7
still
minutes.
Less than 10.
To get 200 plus, because the students were there. I mean, this is a big deal. And so they didn't get all of the students out in fast enough order. Therefore, the official suspended or stopped or finished. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they did not play anymore last night with 15 minutes to go against Station Camp and Hendersonville, tied at 1 on the pitch. To find out more about it, you can go watch the Sumner County Sports podcast or listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Or, of course, you can read about it on MainStreetPreps.com.
After getting both coaches, game administrators, and Station Camp's SRO involved, officials moved to the Hendersonville side of the stands and were in the process of escorting the fans out in an orderly manner. Unfortunately for all in attendance, the administrators, SRO, and coaches did not get the fans out fast enough, resulting in Bell calling the game prematurely. Bell being Matt Bell, the head official, along with Lucy Bell and
his wife,
Glenn Garrett. Yeah, I assume.
No, not assume. It is his wife. That's the thing.
Matt Bell declared he heard 6 or 7 different voices shouting obscenities toward the field, but because he couldn't pinpoint exactly who it was, he has 2 sets of bleachers to exit the game.
And anyway, Zach gets into it in his podcast.
Yeah,
he wasn't on that sideline, so he couldn't speak firsthand, but he does certainly give his opinion on it. And so, go watch the podcast. It's worth it. I promise.
What's really unfortunate here is this was a district 9-3A matchup, and so it ends in a draw. I don't know if there are any plans to resume it and play out the final 15 minutes, or if it's just going to stand as a draw. But I would imagine the TSSAA will be involved in this.
Well, and Zach said that one of the 2 coaches reached out to the head of officials at the TSSAA, who agreed that it was prematurely called. So that was the only thing they could say was, we agree they probably said enough a little too quickly. Mm-hmm. And I would agree with that. 7 minutes and some change, not enough to get a bunch of fans out in an orderly fashion.
Especially a bunch of fans who, most of whom had no reason to leave.
Right. Probably. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Why do I have to go? So anyway, Memphis Grizzlies last night. So during the second intermission of the Preds game that JP and I were in attendance of, a guy sitting 2 seats down from me had his phone out watching the Grizzlies game. So he kindly turned it to where I could also see what was going on. And at that point, the Grizzlies were down by 8 or 10 and then went on that run, including going ahead before Anthony Edwards with the dagger, 3.7 seconds left to tie it up at 111. What a shot.
111 or 109?
Sorry, 109. But I mean, an absolute just dagger to tie the game. And next thing you know, timeout, Grizzlies advance the ball to half court. Ja gets it, layup goes in, Grizzlies win. What a finish.
Ja doing Ja things. Did not see the layup for the win. Did see the dunk from the dotted line, though.
Disturbingly scary.
Iron Eagle, I don't know if you've not heard the call, look it up. Calls it the jawbreaker.
It's a great call. I mean, just absolute tomahawk. So if you haven't seen the dunk, he comes from parallel with the floor all the way over with the dunk. It's disgusting. Which only cut the lead to 11, by the way. But you got to feel like that is what really set the momentum for the rest of the quarter,
especially at FedEx.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You've changed the entire complexity of the crowd, of the game, and perhaps of the series with that dunk.
Absolutely.
Well done, Ja. Well done.
Hopefully, momentum was not established for another team in a different sort of way with the waning seconds of regulation and overtime last night.
JP, are you going to show us the dunk?
Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, sorry about that. You heard it. It is on loop. So if you give me just a moment, I will have
it.
I
didn't hear it. I figured there it is. Let's watch it. I mean, goes to the right. A secondary defender steps up to try and take a charge, I guess. But this is the NBA, man. Just a ridiculous from what is that? 10 feet out?
Probably. 10,
I mean, that's sickening. What a great dunk. So, and then again, you've got the end of the quarter there. Memphis takes full advantage and wins the game 111 to 109. They'll go back to Minnesota tomorrow for game 6. Nashville Predators last night had an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot with a win over Calgary. And for 59 minutes, 59 minutes, 59.99 seconds. They were going to win, except for 0.01 seconds to go in the game. What a shot. What a finish. David Riddick does not get the big save for the Preds, and they are sent to overtime. Oh, I heard that. There's no worse way to lose a hockey game than 0.1 seconds on the clock to give up the game tying goal and then lose in overtime.
Not just losing overtime, but lost less than 5 minutes into overtime. I mean, it was quick.
Well, if it would have been more than 5 minutes, it would have been a shootout.
But only a 5-minute overtime.
But you're right. I mean, it was and here's the thing: made a great save on the stick side, and the puck just kind of trickled into the goal. Like nobody touched it. It wasn't like a great shot or anything. It just kind of found its way to the line. I was watching it going, is the puck dead? Like what happened? And then the red light comes on and ball game. And I'm like, what huh? What just happened? But it was a great time. Had a lot of fun. JP, I know we had a lot of missed high fives a couple times, but thanks to Matt Hart at Beck Dental Care for the tickets. We appreciate you, Matt. Shout out. And it was a great night as the Preds did eventually clinch the playoffs via a shootout loss to Dallas by the Vegas Knights. 1 point for the Predators, only 1 point for Vegas, which means the Preds are in the playoffs.
Now.
What does that mean? Well, first off, let me go through this. Now I realize that we are past 3:30, but if you guys will stick with us, that'd be fantastic. We'd appreciate it. Nashville's, there it is. This is the 0.1 seconds. Just brutal. Anyway, this will be Nashville's 15th trip to the postseason, third among franchises that joined the NHL in the 1990s or 2000, behind San Jose and Ottawa. Their 15 appearances since 2004 ranks second among all clubs in that span, behind just Pittsburgh, who's gone 16 times. And this is the 8th consecutive trip to the playoffs for Nashville. Now, for those of you who are into this sort of thing, preseason predictions for the Nashville Predators. Sporting News, 27th of 32 teams. HockeyWriters.com, 7th in the Central Division. NHL.com, 0 of 15 writers had them in. 0. ESPN, 20th. Sportsnet, 20th. The Athletic, 24th with 87 points, 28% chance of going to the playoffs. SI.com, 23rd. LA Times, 23rd, and said, quote, wait till next decade. The Score had David Poile selected as first coach or GM to get fired. Welcome to the playoffs, Smashville. Competitive rebuild, baby.
Slow your roll.
Well, it was a competitive rebuild. I look, the Nashville Predators did something this year they should not have been able to do. That being said, it is coming at a cost at this point, because Juuse Saros, who was a goaltender in 60 games of 82, 60 of 82 games he started in goal, and last night he goes out with an injury.
And unlike previous years when you've had Pecorine and Juuse Saros, you don't have nearly the number 2 goalie that you have had.
That's exactly right. You don't have the number 2 goalie. Although Connor Ingram has been called up from the Admirals from Milwaukee. I fully expect Connor Ingram to be a player in the playoffs, just because it's perfect for the Predators, right? It's that perfect story that Connor Ingram comes in, maybe he doesn't get the start in game 1, but he gets it in game 2, maybe gets a win, and then comes back to Nashville for 3 and 4 and gets a couple wins. And next thing you know, Connor Ingram's the story, and just like Juuse Saros was as a backup. So it will be, the NHL playoffs are in a world of its own. So once you get there, as we've said, so as Teresa has told us,
as Teresa has said, as Pete Weber has said, just get in and anything can happen. Again, I'm not sure how much confidence I have in this Predator team making much of an impact in the postseason, but I mean, you certainly can't if you're not in it.
There you go. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for hanging out this Wednesday. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. JP will be back tomorrow. Mo, we'll see you in about a week and a half.
About
ish. About a week and a half, as Mo's going to take a much deserved vacation.
I don't know if it's deserved, but it's much needed.